This is the type of Maryland horse racing most people know about. But there is also this type of horse race. And there is this race, the Maryland Hunt Cup, a fierce competition where man and animal join forces to physically battle for a place in the winner's circle. Losing can be painful in more ways than one. And you may see this type of horse extravaganza on a drive through Maryland countryside. It's closely related to most forms of racing, the fox hunt, a tradition passed down through the centuries by the state's more than 16 hunt clubs. For the Wicomico Hunt Club, it's a chance to socialize. But more than that, it's a chance to spend time outdoors in nature, riding a horse, feeling the sights and sounds of the season. Hamilton Fox has been a fox hunter for over 50 years. He knows the sport well.
Fox hunting has been going on the eastern shore of Maryland almost as long as it's been going on anywhere in the world. People traditionally think of fox hunting as an English sport, a British sport. But it wasn't until the middle 1600s that the English started hunting fox. And we know that in about 1640, foxhounds were brought over from England to southern Maryland by a man named Roger Brooke, who was the colonial governor of Maryland. And the early colonists on the eastern shore wanted to fox hunt, and because the only fox that was here was the gray fox that was native to the area. It wasn't a red fox, and the red fox is more fun to hunt than the gray fox. They imported red fox from England and turned them loose up around Centerville here on the eastern shore.
Many people have misconceptions about fox hunting. Ham Fox believes the sport really should be called fox chasing.
Well, of course, we're not really trying to kill the fox, as many people might think. It's not really a blood sport. We don't want to chase the fox because we love to hear the hounds run, as we love to hear the music that the hounds make when they're in full cry after a fox. And we love to see how our pack works.
Seeing a fox is the ultimate goal, and much work goes into preparing for a hunt. It's a year-long process which involves training both the horses and, more importantly, the hounds. Marcia Pusey is the huntsman, and it's her task to train new puppies to hunt.
It's important to establish a bond with your hounds. The bond is one of trust. I have to trust them. They have to trust me. They have to want to work. Of course, you know, coursing through their veins is the ability to hunt through generations, all the breeding to make them foxhounds. But trust, I think, is the most important thing between a huntsman and their hounds.
In the field, it's Marcia's job to keep the hounds working.
Come on, boys. I really enjoy being in the covers with the hounds. And there's nothing more thrilling than hearing one hound open on the line of the fox and know it's one of your best hounds and know that you can trust him emphatically. And you know within a second or two, if all goes well, you'll hear another one speak on the line and then another one, and before you know it, you have this rush of goosebumps going up your spine. And someone yells, "Tally-ho," the fox has gone out of the cover and you've got a great chase ensuing. And I guess it's that passion for that moment that you hope you'll have that, you know, keeps me doing it every time.
Another passion steeped in tradition takes place in northern Baltimore County every year. Its roots can also be traced to England and to fox hunting. It's the 93rd Annual Hunt Cup. Billed as the toughest steeplechase race in America, it draws some of the best riders in the area. For one jockey, this would be his first Hunt Cup. Patrick Worrall, 17, would ride aboard Von Sadek. Not a newcomer to the sport of timber racing, his horse won My Lady's Manor last spring and the Virginia Gold Cup by 110 lengths. But he was new to the Hunt Cup.
Well, to make this Hunt Cup special, I guess, it was the first one I've ever been in. The tradition has been that it's the biggest, has the biggest fences, and it's the hardest endurance race for horses in the country, I guess. Second only to the English Grand National in the world. And it's been a Maryland tradition. I've gone pretty much every year since I can remember. And it's always been fun. A lot of people got it.
Patrick was also carrying on a family tradition. His father rode in the Hunt Cup in 1962 and had helped in the training process with von Sadek. Like fox hunting, much preparation goes into competing in a race that will last only 9 minutes.
Just for the horses, we get up at around, I guess I get up around 6 o'clock, go out and ride, and then that's about it. The horses train like a normal, like any other athlete. He's exercised and galloped.
Across the valley, a veteran Hunt Cup racer trains for the event. Bruce Fenwick has ridden in at least 5 Hunt Cups.
In the old days, fox hunting used to be the best teacher, but the obstacles that we jump fox hunting now are much smaller and fewer than they used to be 15 years ago. So that hasn't been as good a way to train a Maryland Hunt Cup horse as it used to be. Back in the 40s and 50s, that's all people did was run fox hunters, and often out fox hunting you jump fences that were similar to Maryland Hunt Cup fences, but that's not the case anymore today.
The race nears, and the verdant valley becomes veiled in a heavy mist. It's obvious the weather will be a major factor in this year's race, but it doesn't dampen the spirits of tailgaters and spectators who make a habit of attending each year. In the end, von Sadek fell at the 4th fence, and Bruce finished 4th. The winner was Patty Nielsen aboard Uncle Merlin. But the racing season doesn't end with these spring showers. It continues into the fall season. Here in Cecil County lies the town of Fair Hill, which hosts races of a different sort. This course used to be used for fox hunting. Now it's home to the country's only steeplechase parimutuel betting course in the country. This is one of the ultimate tests for man and beast. To earn the right to even appear on these tracks, a horse must be 1/3 speed, 1/3 endurance, and the rest of whatever it is which puts one in the league with champions. For young men like Patrick, the formula is nearly the same, a constant series of competing in races, races which demand a regimen of weight watching and working with horses. Here at Fairhill, Patrick will compete in 3 races on 3 different horses. In the demanding world of steeplechase racing, this young man is already trusted by horse owners for his ability and judgment on the racecourse. There is much at stake whenever this high school kid mounts a horse. The horse business is big business. There's a lot of money riding on the outcome of each race, and this form of racing, which involves jumping over hurdles, is extremely unpredictable and often dangerous. In this race, Patrick rides Saratoga Slough. There is more than brute force at work here. There is also brain power.
I was told to go out in front and then slow down, and when the front horse slows down, everybody tends to slow down, even if it's just psychological. And so I knew I was slowing down. I knew those horses were going to come to me, and I didn't speed up, but they saw me slow down, and so they slowed down. And even though they didn't slow down at the same time, they ended up back at the same distance they were before.
Patrick had a commanding lead. Then his horse faltered slightly and cost him a win. But there's nothing embarrassing about coming in second after a race like this one. Each type of race requires different strategies from the jockey and different strengths from the horse.
Well, the flat races, all the horses usually stay pretty bunched together, and there isn't a whole lot of, I guess there is come from behind, but it's the same as at a major track. Then the hurdle races, they stay bunched up and they go quickly, not quite as quickly, and they have to jump over the smaller brush fences and they brush through the top of the fence. And then the timber races, they have a tendency to get long and drawn out, and then horses come from 40 or 50 lengths off the leader and to win a race. The horse that stays in the front for the first 2 miles doesn't necessarily win the race.
And with a recent win over timber fences at Fair Hill, Patrick has his eyes on an even bigger prize, a Hunt Cup victory. And behind him ride even younger riders, all eager to continue the Maryland steeplechase tradition. a tradition which began hundreds of years ago with the fox hunt and now seems secure for generations to come.